This is Ken Smith reminding you it happened today, May 19th, but the year was 1182, and the high altar at the cathedral in Notre Dame is consecrated. It was on this day, 1536, Anne Boleyn, second wife of English King Henry VIII, is beheaded at the Tower of London. It was on this day, 1883, that William F. Buffalo Bill Cody opened Buffalo Bill's Wild West Show in Omaha, Nebraska. It was just 1 year later, the same day, May 19th, 1884, that the Ringling Brothers Circus began. It was on this day, 1943, that Adolf Hitler declares that Berlin, Germany, is free of Jews. It was on this day, 1983, Weird Al Yankovic gives a live performance at the Wax Museum in Washington, D.C. It was just 2 years ago on this day, 2018, that Meghan Markle marries Prince Harry at a ceremony in Windsor Castle, England. But that was May 19th in the past. This is May 19th, 2020. Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar says there are no reported spikes in virus cases in states that have opened up more fully, states like Georgia and Florida. A new survey shows that 58% of U.S. adults report that they are completely isolating themselves. This continues a decline from a high of 75% just 2 weeks ago. Another report from Washington, D.C. As many states begin to reopen their economies and making plans, Americans are reporting improvement in emotional health. 50% of adults now say they worried a lot, which is a drop of 12% from just 2 weeks ago. Happiness has edged up 5 points to 72%, while loneliness has held steady at about 25%. 25% of Americans continue to say they experience loneliness quite a bit each day. In California, a recent survey of more than 100 large businesses in the Bay Area, industries spanning from tech to law, construction, found that even after restrictions are lifted, executives expect only 74% of workers will be back in offices, and nearly 20% of firms plan to go completely remote. Tesla has identified 2 new locations in Oklahoma for possible new factories, resulting from California's harsh lockdown rules. As a result, Tesla shares are up 3%. The Wall Street Journal reported that Google will be the target of antitrust lawsuits from the Justice Department, with the hope that it will be clarified by the end of the summer. Elvis Presley's home, Graceland, will reopen to tourists tomorrow. 2 months After the cruise industry shut down amid the virus, more than 100,000 crew members remained trapped at sea with little reliable information of what will happen to them. Investigators from the CDC Control and Prevention Committee have been studying the spread of the virus through a local choir that had been meeting in a Presbyterian church. They tracked 61 people who attended the March 10th rehearsal. There was one symptomatic person in that group. They found that 87% of the choir was confirmed to have the virus. 3 members were hospitalized and 2 of them died. The report noted that in addition to sitting next to each other and singing, that this singing could be the source of the transmittal. And if you read all the reports that are coming out now, when it comes to congregational singing, it's probably better for the church to wait until such time as we have a better idea about what is healthy and what will be the safest practice when churches gather again. Elon Musk, with no experience in spaceflight, invested $100 million of his own money over the protests of friends, family, and logic. His company, SpaceX, now has 7,000 employees. And this Monday, SpaceX rocket and spacecraft will send 2 NASA astronauts, Bob Behnken and Doug Hurley, to the International Space Station. Liftoff is scheduled for this Monday at 4:32 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, launching from Kennedy Space Center in Florida. Well, this is a day filled with good news, bad news, confusing news. And what's a person to make of it all? The foundation behind everything is to remember this is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. This is Ken Smith reminding you it happened today, May 19th, 2020.